Hi everyone, welcome to the Wargaming Parrot. I'm David and today we're going to be talking about parrot training basics, specifically positive reinforcement and target training. Now these two training skills are essential to any parrot owner, and I would encourage you, even if you're not that interested in training, to learn them because they are awesome. So I'm joined by Miss Pickles, who's hopefully going to sit on my shoulder for a second. What you'll need for this is a stick of some sort. Ideally it's got to be made of cardboard, hard paper or wood, something they can chew but it's hard enough they can't chew through. A favourite treat, I've got the boys' favourite treat here, millet, but the conures like their sunflower seed or hemp seed, and a clicker, which is also awesome, not essential but very useful if you're starting out. So first up we're going to talk about positive reinforcement. Now you might be asking, what is positive reinforcement? It sounds very technical. It really isn't. The technical definition is it's adding something to the environment to increase the likelihood of a behaviour occurring. So what does that mean basically? In simple terms, all it means is you want your parrot to do something, you give them a treat or praise or some sort of reinforcement which makes that behaviour much more likely to occur. So for example, if I wanted the boy to step up onto my hand, I would give them a treat. If I wanted Pickle to step up on my hand, I would give her a treat. I'm not going to try now because she is cuddling and she's enjoying that, and I don't want to look silly in my video because my neck is much more reinforcing than my hand right now. So why is positive reinforcement useful? Pickles is actually chatting, she's narrating with me, so you may hear a bit of grumbling and ruffling while we're talking. But why is it useful? It is useful because if you want your parrot to do something, it increases the likelihood of that occurring. If you want a parrot to step up, if you want a parrot to do a treat, if you want a parrot to do a behaviour, if you want your parrot to do something like get out of a dangerous situation, having positive reinforcement on hand is exceptionally useful. I'd also like to add, parrots do not respond to punishment. So if you want your parrot not to do something, punishing it isn't going to do the trick. You're going to need to extinguish the behaviour through doing something else or providing positive reinforcement to get them to do what you actually want them to do. So how can you apply this to an actual situation? I'm going to show an example now. So I was talking about how Pickles finds my shoulder and cuddling me very reinforcing. I've got her favourite treat, hemp seed. Now if you were doing this, you'd only want one, but just to show you so you can actually see it in practice, I've got the whole bowl here. So I've got the bowl, I want to step up, she steps straight up. You'd also want to use a verbal cue if you're starting out to say step up, and then immediately reinforce the behaviour as soon as she's done it. As you can see, she's very keen to get those hemp seeds, but this perfectly illustrates how positively reinforcing behaviour gets Miss Pickles to do what I want her to do when she what I want to. So let's try again, she's very keen. Let's show an example. Step up, treat. She's just gone straight on the bowl. This is why you would not want to use a bowl in this situation. But as you can see, it's highly effective at getting Pickles to do what I want to do. Now, if you're starting out with your bird, it may not be that easy. You have to do it in a neutral area. And I'm going to show you an example with our latest rescue, Olive, about how this can work. So I'm going to show you an example of positive reinforcement in action. Olive is very nervous of hands. She absolutely hates them. She's still getting used to them. Most of the time we have to use a perch because she's just so nervous of them. She's quite excited to be out and she likes us though. So I've got a hemp seed in my left hand here. I've got my right hand which I've got unsleeved, and I'm going to try and get her to step up. Step up. Good girl. Smart. So that's Olive stepped up. I wanted to show you Olive because Olive is not used to doing this and Olive really doesn't like doing it. But with a bit of positive reinforcement, I managed to get her onto my hand, even though she's quite nervous, and she's enjoying the treat. So, to finish the training session, I'm just going to pop her back and just leave it at that. So it's left on a positive note. So now we've covered positive reinforcement, it's time to move on to target training. Now target training, targeting, touch training, whatever you want to call it, is an absolutely essential skill to any parrot owner. It is so useful in so many situations, and it is the basis for many tricks you see us perform or loads of other people perform on the internet, all those cute clips you see. It is great, and I highly suggest that you as a parrot owner learn it. As a training technique, targeting is incredibly simple to perform. All you need is your stick, and if you want to be precise, a clicker. So with this, the goal is to get your bird to touch the end of the stick. And through this, you're establishing a clear line of communication with your bird. Now, how is that useful? I mean, how is it not useful? The bird knows exactly what you want it to do, and you know what you're trying to get the bird to do. So through this training, you can start doing all sorts of manner of tricks. You can also help introduce your bird to different situations. For example, if you have someone else coming over and they're unused to your bird and your bird is unused to them, the bird may lash out at them. With targeting, say for example they want to change the bowls, that person can target the bird elsewhere in the cage, quickly change out the bowl, and then it's safe for that person and your bird. So the uses for it are immeasurable, and again, please do consider learning it if you're a novice bird. So we talked about using the stick and what you want to do. What happens if you want to use a clicker as well? So here's a nice clicker, very simple. So with the clicker added in, say for example, I wanted to stick this stick. I'm going to show a couple of examples a little bit later. If I want to stick the stick in my bird's cage, I hold my clicker in the same hand, try and hide any paraphernalia that might be scary. So when the bird touches the end of the stick, I simply go like that immediately. That click immediately associates that action with the noise, and then ideally you want to have your treat and give the treat immediately as well, and you do that over and over again. And the bird, they're very intelligent animals, they'll very quickly learn, oh, if I touch into this stick and I hear that noise, I'm going to get a nice little reward. So it's just a great way of reinforcing it further. So our lovely assistant Mr. Scampy, who loves his target trainings out and about, when you're starting out with this and your bird hasn't done target training, you could do it in through the bars of their cage. But for this example, we're going to do it with Scampy, and we're not going to use a clicker because he doesn't really need it, he's not used to it. So, got my target stick here, Scampy's immediately running over, touch, good boy. So you get him to touch and immediately reinforce it. He is very keen for his target training, he absolutely loves it. So I'm going to do it again a bit closer to the camera. Scampy, touch. Here you go. Also, if you have a bigger parrot, or your parrot's a bit nervous with the stick, you can do it from a bit more distance. So Scampy's there, I'm going to hold it so he can just about get that light touch in it. Ideally you want him to just touch it and quickly get the reward. So we'll just do this one more time. This is also very good as a warm-up for other training. So if your parrots just come out, they're a bit fussy, they're getting a bit anxious, or they're just not in the mood, you can use targeting to warm them up to do other things. Touch, good boy. So now I'm going to show you a simple trick you can use with targeting. So Scampy has learned this a little bit, so it's very good. Let's get him on the target back. Scampy, come. So you can get him to target onto the perch. Now, you just hold the stick above him and you rotate it around. Spin. As you can see, he's exceptionally keen. If you had your bird, you'd do it as a half measure round and then bring it all the way around. As you can see, he's just doing it over and over again. Scampy, spin. But that's a very simple trick you can teach your bird using targeting. And once you've started with that, there are so many more you can do. And it's just such an essential skill. As I've said before, I highly recommend you teach this skill to your bird. Scampy, touch. You good boy. So now you've seen how you can apply positive reinforcement targeting, I'm going to show you some examples of what these training techniques can achieve. These boys have learned so much from it, and you can see loads of other videos on my channel of lovely tricks and fun things that you can do. And it's also enriching and fun for them. It stimulates them mentally and it's very useful. So not only is it just good for getting them out of dangerous situations, getting them to do simple behaviours, it just does so much. I just can't recommend it highly enough. So now I'm going to show you a bunch of clips of fun things that our birds have learned through targeting and positive reinforcement. thanks very much for watching. I hope you found this video useful. If you have any questions about any training methods, please feel free to drop them in the comments. In the meantime, I hope you have a great day. Thanks again for watching and take care.